Vince, I'm running for Congress against this guy. Stop having a politician that's worse than Biden.
That's a discretionary funding.
Instead, vote for me, a guy who's not half dead. I'm gonna soak up the swamp, clean the house, and pick up those liberal tears at the same time. I'm gonna slap chop the nuts out of the woke, making less blue-haired commies and more red-blooded Americans. Vote for me so I can represent you and the ones that can't stand up for themselves.
Vote for ShamWow!
Paid for by offer Vince ShamWow Shlomi for Congress.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. That's my sweetheart, redheaded libertarian wifey, Steffi.
Wow. That was epic.
ShamWow.
Great advertisement.
Vince ShamWow Shlomi running for Congress. Vote Shlomi for Congress. I don't know. I'd vote for him. Sounds good so far.
Yeah, the other guy sounds terrible. His voice sounds like RFK Jr.
Yeah. Quest Fanning's like, is this AI? No, that's real. That's legit.
He's really running.
Yeah, Vince Shlomi. With a last name like that, he won't get a single Groyper vote.
I don't know if he's Jewish.
Shlomi?
I don't know. Vince is not a Jewish name. Not
Vince
sure.
Shlomi. But Shlomi is very Jewish, right? Come on.
Never heard of a Shlomi.
Vince Israeli American.
He's Israeli American?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Shlomi. There's never been a Gentile in the history of ever whose name was Shlomi. Okay.
Wow. He does not look Jewish to me. Well,
Yeah.
my Judar must be off.
Your Judar
I have
must
to
be off.
recalibrate.
Calibrate your Judar. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Welcome to Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. You survived another week in clown world. Another week of experts being wrong. Another week of Washington thinking it should run everything from your doctor's office to your dishwasher to your Netflix queue. And that right there might be our unofficial theme today for the show. Who gets to decide how you live your life? You or them? Because today we're staring at a massive story. Washington is eyeing a potential Netflix-Warner Brothers merger. And surprise, surprise, a whole lot of politicians think they should be the ones picking winners, losers, and cultural gatekeepers. So at 7:30 this morning, we're going to talk with Robert Romano from getliberty.org about this. So that part is locked. That part's happening. Good.
Cool.
Everything else, well, it's Freedom Family Friday. So that means that we reserve the right to wander, riff, chase rabbits. Stephanie throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing.
I'll be good today.
No, it's okay. We can ignore the rundown. We can throw the rundown directly into the river, or like it's a crate of British tea. So freedom, essentially. Good morning, Petersons and fellow patriots. Quest Fanning, good morning to you, sir, and thank you so much for starting that sweet unlock this morning.
Thank you, Quest.
We'll do our best to track the money rolling in today.
Oh, I can get a pen and paper.
Yeah, here's a pen.
Here.
There you go.
And I have a napkin.
There's a
there's
notepad right there. There you
Yep.
go. Some notepads.
Okay.
Brad's off today.
So how much did Quest do?
$6.
Okay, thank you, Quest.
Yes, so no Brad today.
I like being the secretary.
Yes,
So.
so we'll try our best to keep tabs on how much we raise. If we raise $100 today, you unlock the first phase, the bonus content. If we raise $150, then that will unlock the great grift off. So
I think I see another one. Is there another one down there?
it's Quest though, both Quests.
Oh, both of
Quest,
them. Okay.
Questy,
Thank you.
So we may talk about why streaming is already a chaotic mess. We may talk about why giant corporations owned by millions of ordinary Americans through retirement accounts get treated like cartoon villains whenever they want to have a say in things. So Warner Brothers, of course, isn't just a company, Stephanie. Remember, they own Harry Potter.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a vault of American storytelling, of important artifacts of American cultures.
Okay.
So whether that vault gets treated like a museum or a demolition site actually matters. So we'll talk about that with Robert Romano here about 20 minutes from now. And then we may also talk about this new touch-starved phenomenon.
People aren't getting touched enough?
They aren't getting touched enough. Don't laugh, Stephanie.
Oh, that's funny.
You're a therapist.
Well, I'm just laughing because just the other day I was like doing some sort of chore in the kitchen and then you came over and touched me and I kind of like flinched and I was just like...
You almost used the karate that I taught you on that, actually.
and I was just like,
You're like,
I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just, totally in the zone. I just wasn't expecting, I wasn't expecting you there.
I haven't had a woman recoil from my touch like that in years.
Oh, no. I love your touch.
Nelson-
and we're very much
I
about
know.
it.
Speaking of, Nelson65 donated $2 and
thank
said,
you, Nelson. I'll write it on my pad.
He said, "Oh, role play kinky," but I think he said that before we started talking about me touching you.
Oh my goodness. So how much did he give?
$2.
$2. Good
And
job.
somebody went to the Griff shop.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes, and they made an order, and they got a really cool patriotic mug, your 4 Liberty Network mug.
Oh
So
my
good
gosh,
job,
I've been
Stephanie.
working hard on these. So we
Yes.
have all 4LN merch. We have t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and then I made a new Valentine's themed AR-15 shirt.
Yes, you are my.
You are the one.
You are the
You
one, but
are
yeah.
the one with an AR-15. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so how much was the...
$26.39.
Okay,
So add that all up there. So
Okay.
there we go. Thank you, Andy Opperman, for going shopping at the Griff shop.
okay.
We're really focusing on growing the For Liberty Network this year, and we are off to the races with a brand new show launching March the 3rd on the For Liberty Network.
Yes, all the promos came out about that yesterday through text and email.
Yep. So everybody now knows that we are now going to build a bridge to South America, not a literal bridge, but a metaphorical one. The For Liberty Network now has 5 shows on our network. We started with one show
Yeah.
3 years ago, and
very impressive.
we have grown like crazy. So the For Liberty Network, we've got, of course, the show you're watching right now, Wake Up America show. We've also got Culturama, Liberty Tonight, Cafecito Libre, and then, of course, our Friday night, tonight, Freedom Arcade show. So that's 5 shows on our network, if you can believe it. We're taking over, man.
I know. I was just telling Freedom Fest about all the projects we're working on yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we really have done a lot.
We have, and I'm really excited about it because we're just looking at expanding like crazy. I've been on the phones this month just trying to get as much support as I can as possible, and it's been going very well. And a lot of people are really excited about Cafecito Libre. So you're on Rumble. If you're watching us live on Rumble, make sure that you guys follow Mylene's new Rumble account, which is just rumble.com/Cafecito Libre. You can also just click on the link. I've been making some upgrades to the wakeupamericashow.com website. So check that out. And if you go over there and see the For Liberty Network button, you can scroll down, click on Cafecito Libre. It will take you to the new podcast link. So yeah, doesn't she look cute? She's going to be great,
she
man.
is cute. She's a beautiful woman, very smart, very passionate.
Yeah, people like Suburban Dadcore are helping us make it happen. Bud, appreciate you. He signed up the other day.
Oh, okay. I was going to write it on my notepad.
Oh, yeah, no. No, we're talking about people who became monthly subscribers to help support the network. So thanks to people like Suburban Dadcore, we can launch shows like Cafecito Libre. So don't forget to check out Mylene's new show. Now, remember, it is bilingual, so there will be a lot of Spanish speaking going on. So Cafecito Libre is a great way to make a bridge between American libertarianism, which has been struggling, and Argentine libertarianism, which has been winning. So people ask me, like, what is libertarian nationalism? Because everybody's been talking about libertarian nationalism.
The Libertarian Party of New Hampshire apparently says they're libertarian nationalists.
Yeah, and they want to have a libertarian nationalist conference like the day before we do the Boston trip. So I'm going to be talking to Jeremy Kaufman next week about maybe doing an event in New Hampshire. And it might be like the first official conference of libertarian nationalists in the United States. So we're going to see if we can put something like that together, because New Hampshire is only 50 minutes away from Boston.
Could this be a new party that you make?
No. Don't do that to us.
Oh, okay.
No, we are a rump of the Republican Party.
And
that
the
is-
Libertarian Party.
That's fine if they want to do it in their own party. That's fine. That's fine. But libertarian nationalism is a set of ideas that I have articulated and put into a manifesto, and which people are rallying to. It's been phenomenal, just the response that I have gotten from people. And thank you to people like Drew Van Runkle and Suburban Dadcore and Quest Fanning, who have helped us to make this happen. Because, Drew Van Runkle says Spanish outreach is important. We are doing that, and we are. It's going to connect us to millions of people that we wouldn't have been able to. We wouldn't have been able to make contact with because we don't speak Spanish. So
I know. If only we could go back and not learn French
I
our
know.
whole lives
Yeah.
and learn Spanish instead.
turns out that all that French was a waste of time. Wah, wah.
Zut alors.
Zut alors. Ferme la bouche. All
Maybe
right.
we could start a French show. There you go. We could connect
Maybe
with
we
our
should
African,
Maybe we
French
should,
speakers.
Maybe we should just watch Cafecito Libre and learn Spanish. What do you think?
Quebecois.
Quebecois. No, thank you. Yeah, New Hampshire is close to Boston, so next week, Jeremy Coffin and I are going to put our heads together and see if we can make an event happen. Libertarian Nationalist Conference in New Hampshire, maybe the day before we do the Boston trips. So if you guys want to add on,
Oh my goodness.
we'll see. All right. So we'll do what we can, but let's keep moving here because speaking of touch star phenomenon, so this is a phenomenon being pushed in the press that people are lonelier, disconnected, and starved for real human contact in a hyper digital world. I know people who are like this, right? That they don't have anyone in their life and there's no one to touch them. So we're gonna.
I heard this more so during COVID.
Yeah, it has still happening. Justin says learning things is never a waste of time. Oh, Justin, he's got the
Wait, what is he talking about?
French.
Oh, I see.
Justin was a French man. French. So we might talk about in this show about late night comedians melting down about the Epstein files, Trump, and basically anything that interrupts their therapy session disguised as a monologue. We might talk about legacy media collapsing in itself while blaming everyone else except their own business models, or we might not, because Fridays around here are not about rigid programming. Fridays are about vibes. Fridays are about family. Fridays are about saying, yeah, we have a plan, but we're not slaves to the plan, except for one thing. So our conversation with Robert Romano at 7:30 this morning, so 15 minutes from now, to talk about the Netflix Warner Brothers merger, free markets, and why Washington should not be Hollywood's central planner. What do you think? He was a French major, bitches.
Yeah, I'd be interested to explore the history of Hollywood and how it was influenced when it first started.
Well, Justin will be here at 8 a.m. And Hollywood and the government have always been in bed together.
I'm sure.
We'll get into that later. And speaking of Justin, at 8 a.m., things get more fun because Justin joins us, and that portion goes behind the paywall. What do you mean, boo?
Oh,
Why are you booing?
all of you have castles.
Yeah. Dude,
Except for Camellia. Camellia didn't have a
I
castle
think she
yesterday.
got one.
Oh,
I think she
good.
got one. So if you want to see Justin today, you've got to be on Rumble and you've got to have the little red castle next to your name. But people are so generous that they gift subs like crazy. So I don't see anybody in the comments right now that doesn't have a castle. And if you don't, it's so easy. Just get yourself a little sub or gift some subs. That helps to unlock the bonus content, gives people the little red castles next to their name, and they get to watch Justin at 8 a.m. Justin is like the crack we got them addicted to, and now we put him behind the paywall. So Justin will be here, and it's members only at 8 a.m. So members get the version where we stop pretending to be respectable. So one more thing before we dive in. If you're looking for work, or if you know someone looking for work in politics, advocacy, campaigns, grassroots organizing, check out campaignjobsnow.com/AP for Liberty. That's campaignjobsnow.com/AP for Liberty. Go there, upload your resume, find some opportunities, get plugged in. It's hard work, but it's paid work. It's not Nancy Pelosi money in politics, but it's good money. And of course, if we raise $100 today, then we unlock the mini documentary. If we hit $150, we unlock the Great Grift Off Liberty Loot live game show. You control the chaos. So let's have a little Freedom Family Friday. Talk about who controls your movies, who controls your culture, and who should control your life. Spoiler alert, it ain't Washington.
Maybe Hermione should control Hollywood.
You know who should control everything?
Baptist Church of Corona on its 100th anniversary. First Baptist is a bedrock of Corona Queens. It provides a food pantry, tax preparation, summer youth employment, and more. The church's service extends well beyond its congregation to all of Corona, one of the most diverse immigrant communities in the world. First Baptist is led by Pastor Patrick H. Young. Pastor Young's commitment to service is unfailing. And when Corona became the epicenter of the pandemic in early 2020, he and First Baptist...
Sorry, what was she talking about there?
I think I can see her. her NIPPLE.
Wait until they'll say just say nipples, Stephanie. It's okay.
I know.
It must be cold in there.
Oh, God. She needs a padded bra. Like, come on, ladies. There's a solution to this. You don't have to show your nips. You know, just You can wear some padding around there and it won't show.
Now, some of the responses to this are cracking me up this morning because there were things like, I'm really ashamed of myself for this. I love this one. Don't be fooled by big old socialist titties. They're meant to hypnotize, then enslave your ass.
Well, the one thing I've learned about men is that they really don't discriminate in the bedroom. They are willing to go to bed with anybody, but they are not willing to marry
How
anybody.
do you know?
Oh, what were we listening to? He was a comedian. Was it, one of those like misogynist comedians? Or was it Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan might have been talking about it with somebody.
Oh no, it was Patrice.
Patrice
Was talking about a man will destroy his career, his marriage, for everything for a woman that he meets behind a dumpster.
And then somebody we were listening to, a comedian, he was talking about how like he has those crazy psycho women. Those are like for, just sexual purposes. Mm-hmm. And then he has like really conservative, nice women for, relationships. Mm-hmm. You need both, apparently.
Well, yeah. So we're tracking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the House. She's definitely in her abuela arc, but I mean,
yeah, those boobs are sagging, honey.
Oh, dude,
the gravity's taken over.
Here's the thing: there's a way to avoid the niptacular vision happening right now, right? So I mean,
it's a bad color.
Is this deliberate, or what do you mean it's a bad color?
There's certain colors that like show more than others.
It's a great color, but if it wasn't a great color, I mean, there's a way to avoid this, right? I mean. Maybe I should know more about this, but aren't there certain types of underwear that would prevent this kind of?
Well, yeah, and like I was saying, you need padded bras.
Yes,
padded bras would get rid of any nipple
imagery. Can you imagine though a padded bra in this scenario? Because if she did, they would just be collapsing, falling out everywhere.
Well, it's just padded around the nipple area. That's all. It's just like. A thing that protects you from being seen. So I'm not saying she needs pads around the whole bazonkas. She just needs it right in the one region there.
Bazonkas.
Yeah, and she needs a larger dress, something that's not so skin tight and sucked to her skin.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's been a lot of influencer e-girl drama on the internet in the last week. Have you been following some of this, Stephanie? With
Elijah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Elijah Schaefer. Mm-hmm. He's an interesting guy. Apparently, allegedly slept with, while he was married, slept with a girl who was engaged. And the e-girl influencer drama has been a major topic of conversation on X, which means that there's not a lot of big news to cover because people are really bored, so they're looking for something to cover. Somebody put together this compilation of their favorite e-girls. Let's see if you agree with their rankings.
I just can't believe this. Hey, Dad, keep your voice whore!
I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it.
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Oh.
Here's what I heard. Blah, 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 science, trigger.
What an idiot.
I don't know that lady.
Pretty cool, I guess.
I don't know her.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Her.
We do not care.
I mean, it's all right, Oh, come on. You gotta admit this is cool.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Oh, she had her own scandal with Elon, Ashley St. Clair.
Oh, okay.
That is baby.
I like this one.
Mama.
Nice. Made me happy, made me smile. Nice.
Aw, Cassie, she's a good lady.
What are you, retarded? So I know you're not retarded, but what are you, Down syndrome?
Not bad, not bad.
She belongs to the streets.
Blair White. Is she really an e-girl?
Approved.
Expired.
Quiet, please.
Oh my goodness. TRHL Libertarian maybe could be on there. We could add her on there.
The redheaded libertarian girl?
Yeah.
Josie?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't include her. I wonder why.
She makes a lot of stink online.
Yeah, I saw Caitlin Bennett. She actually responded over there. She said, where can she collect her award?
Aww. Oh, boy. Pearl Davis, I mean, she likes to criticize all these women.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure I'd really put her in alignment with all these ladies.
I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it.
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Without that plastic surgery, she'd probably be fine.
Laura.
I know. Sydney's a great girl, too. I mean, she knows Elijah firsthand.
There's a famous video clip, though, of Sydney where she's like lecturing Nick Fuentes and they like sped up her voice. And it's really fun. I like Sydney, but it's a funny video where it's like she's going, and like Nick is just kind of going, like, I can't take this anymore.
Aww.
What are you, retarded?
I'm just glad I'm not in that video. I don't need to be part of this mess.
No, I did the right thing. I got the non-e-girl trad wife. A little bit of tard wife in there, but...
I just care about having a positive impact on the world. I don't care about attention.
I know. Well, you're not just like a social climber, like seeking status and using people on your way up the ladder.
I don't even make any money on Twitter. So
going
there's no incentive
on
for me.
right-wing Twitter. This is Sarah Stock. She's from Canada like Captive Dreamer, and she just got married. Her latest podcast with based women and exposing how Trump betrayed MAGA. But more importantly, she makes us all want to jack off. I asked Grok to make this pic.
Oh shit, wait, I thought she's married.
That's AI.
What? Wait, this is all AI?
No, part of it is. Part of it.
Oh my god.
Sarah's a Stacy, or is she more of a true E?
Oh, is she Jewish?
No, I know. She's not Jewish. She's Catholic.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, she was married by the Pope. That's right.
Yeah. Had her marriage blessed by the Pope. While she was sleeping with Elijah, allegedly.
And I thought Elijah was gay. I had no idea.
I think he's bi. Milo Yiannopoulos has been chronicling it all. Apparently, he's got more dirt on these women who have been cheating on their husbands, and it's going to come out soon. So,
why does anybody talk to Milo? I mean, what kind of friend is that who would just go behind your back and share all your conversations? That's not cool.
He's a gay guy, and women they trust gay guys. They tell him everything. So, yeah. Anyways,
not anymore.
Yeah, no. You know what? You say that, but they will. They will. After a couple of drinks, man, the inhibitions, they open up, and so do the legs.
Because I think these women secretly love drama. They secretly love crisis.
Oh no, they openly love it.
Right, but when it happens, then they cry and boo-hoo and say, "Woe is me! How did this happen?"
I'm a victim.
They knew how it happened.
I'm a victim. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They made the conscious decision to tell Milo all their dirty. Yeah.
All their dirty laundry. Okay. So it's time for us to go do an interview. Robert Romano from getliberty.org. Coming up next. Keep helping us to unlock that bonus content, guys. We're well on our way. Stephanie will do a little math here.
Yeah, I got my notepad.
Yeah, we'll see where we're at. Keep dropping those Rumble rants. Justin Peterson comes up at 8 a.m. Don't go away. It's the Wake Up America show, and you're watching the 4 Liberty Network.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity.
Welcome back to the Wake Up America Show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. It's Freedom Family Friday, which means I bring my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie, on the show. Hi, Steffi.
Hello, good morning.
Glad to have you here. I think we're going to love this next topic and our next guest. First time on the show. Hollywood is panicking. Washington is circling. And once again, politicians think they should decide what you're allowed to watch. A proposed Netflix Warner Brothers deal is turned into a political food fight. Lawmakers are hinting at antitrust crackdowns, national interest reviews. But here's the real question. Should a handful of politicians and bureaucrats pick winners and losers in entertainment? Or should shareholders, consumers, and competition decide? I mean, streaming's already a mess. Prices are up. Libraries are fragmented, and God knows Netflix wants to acquire Warner Brothers in large part so that they can turn Harry Potter black and gay. Okay, so should we allow the cultural artifacts of Western civilization to fall into the hands of the woke left without a fight? Joining us now to discuss that and more, Robert Romano from GetLiberty.org, live with us on the show this morning. Good morning, Robert. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be on. Thank you so much, Austin. And it's great to meet you and Stephanie. I'm happy to talk about this topic. I think that if anything, Netflix is an innovative company. They've acquired their market share in streaming through innovation, and they've absolutely transformed the entertainment industry. My wife would argue for the better. She loves all of the streaming products, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or Disney, etc. We watch them all. She watches them all. And I think that there's really no question that there is just a plethora of competition in streaming right now. And Netflix is competing with Amazon and Disney and HBO Max right now. HBO Max and Netflix would be the same company after this. But I don't think that really poses any sort of monopolization risks that would normally come under something like antitrust consideration. So happy to talk about all that.
Yeah, help us to understand what's going on here, because Netflix wants to acquire Warner Brothers, which owns some of the most important cultural artifacts of Western civilization. So the great literature, Harry Potter, many other items. Netflix wants to grab them, and, well, Netflix, Amazon, some of these corporations, they don't necessarily have the best track record for how they treat some of these important artifacts of our culture, right? So talk to us a little bit about the fight that's happening over Netflix just trying to grab this company, buy it, without even listening to other offers.
Right. So I think that's up to Warner, Discovery shareholders and their board. They opted for Netflix. I think that it's a partnership that makes sense for Warner, whereas somebody like Paramount, that's a competitive studio. They're producing competing content. If Paramount were to acquire Warner, it could be a lot like Disney getting Fox. Maybe it doesn't result in the best outcome for Warner, whereas Netflix might want to take advantage of Warner's studios and their apparatus that's out of Hollywood. And I believe that Warner benefits from obviously the subscriber base of Netflix. And that's a nice symbiotic relationship that can form there. And that's what the shareholders have determined. So this is like a free market acquisition. And DOJ antitrust and the Federal Trade Commission, they want to look at things like, are consumers going to benefit? Is there market monopolization risk? But I think there's so many streaming products that the risk of Netflix totally monopolizing streaming, that's gone out the window. Everyone's got streaming right now. And HBO Max already has streaming. So it's not like they're coming into the market. This is something that's already been there, and consumers have a plethora of choices. I see the bill every monthly. Maybe it's too many choices.
Yeah, there is such a thing as a paradox of choice. I mean, I agree with Thomas Jefferson that I'd rather be exposed to the inconveniences of too much liberty than of too little. But I do find myself sometimes scrolling through, Stephanie and I'll be sitting on the couch scrolling through all the streaming services. And there's so much that we end up the whole movie that we watched was just scrolling through all the movies to watch. So we end up not watching anything, just trying to figure out what to watch. Now, a lot of critics are saying that big mergers automatically mean less competition. So is there an economic case that the deal could actually increase competition and benefit consumers?
I think that it's going to help bolster Warner. Quite honestly, the movie theater model for these big tent studios and Warner Brothers, goes back over 100 years. I think that there's certainly a significant case to be made that this actually benefits Warner and helps it to expand its operations. And that's certainly, I think, what came out of the recent Senate hearing on this matter from the brass at Netflix and Warner, where they're discussing the expansion of Warner as a result of this. This is going to, I think, benefit competition because it makes Warner more competitive in that environment. When you look at market capitalization, just consider what Netflix has done. Warner's been around for over 100 years, but it's only got like a 70 billion market cap. Disney, I think it's 185 billion, something like that. Netflix is about $350 billion. That's pretty massive. And so it's like, oh, is overtaking the entertainment industry. It's like, no, they've innovated their way to that. They want to have a studio that's probably pretty good for Netflix, but why not have one of the legacy studios? So we think of Warner as kind of the senior partner here, but they're a smaller company compared to Netflix. Netflix has transformed distribution. Streaming is now a mainstay. We've built infrastructure on our grid, our internet grid, and how quickly everything needs to move because of Netflix, because everyone's internet was too slow. It's like, oh, like my internet's too slow. We have to upgrade because our customers want Netflix. HBO Max and Disney come along because they're trying to compete with Netflix. And so it actually makes sense that a company like Netflix would actually end up owning one of these studios. They're not going to end up owning all of the studios. There's still going to be very healthy competition, I think, for all of that. And if you look at subscriber bases, I think they're north of, 300 million on Netflix. Amazon Prime is like 200 million. Disney Plus, 140 million thereabouts. YouTube Premium, 125 million. HBO Max is about 120 million thereabouts. So I think that there's going to always be these options. And so you want to judge this on its legal merits. It's like, well, if they're not going to be a monopoly, consumers will benefit from lower costs. And there's still a wide variety of competition and choices, particularly in media. There's never been so much content. I'm not certain what the antitrust blocking of this would be. It's not like you're trying to take control of the energy industry to restrict it to fight climate change or something like that, like we saw from ESG. Maybe that's a different kind of antitrust consideration that the government should pay more attention to and not worry about like who owns a media company. They're going to be, it's not ideological. Like they're probably, fairly liberal organizations and companies, and that's fine. The politics of it really shouldn't come into play, or ideology or anything like that. This is a free market merger that both parties are amenable to. They've agreed to it already. And unless the government has a really compelling reason under antitrust law, we're not saying that we oppose antitrust law. We support antitrust laws. I just made a case for antitrust on ESG, maybe for consolidating and restricting energy production to drive up the price in favor of other industries. So we certainly support those laws. And I believe that, a legal analysis on this will just show that there's a lot of competition, way more than people ever anticipated. And it's because of Netflix. It's because of competition and free markets. And what an amazing company, two amazing companies that are coming together here.
I think I agree with you in theory, but in practice, I think that the culture war does matter. It does infect our politics. And I think this is going to be a more interesting conversation if I play a little devil's advocate here, of course. I'm from Missouri. We live in Jefferson City in the capital. Both of our senators from Missouri, Eric Schmidt and Josh Hawley, weighed in on a Senate hearing on this one, and they did not have nice things to say about Netflix. And some MAGA influencers are saying that Trump should step in and block the deal. So here's what Senator Eric Schmidt said. Netflix has created the wokest content in the history of the world. He says that the streaming giant has made a habit of promoting DEI and wokeness. He says that it over-sexualizes kids. The overwhelming majority of your stuff is overwhelmingly woke, and it's not reflective of what the American people want to see. He says, why in the world would we give a seal of approval or a thumbs up to make you the largest behemoth on the planet related to content? Senator Josh Hawley says, why is so much of Netflix content for children promoting a transgender ideology? So whether or not you or I agree with it, the culture war angle on this probably plays a part, doesn't it?
Well, it shouldn't. If we're talking about a merger, we're talking about antitrust law, we're talking about limited government. That means that the government can only do what is defined and limited by the powers, by the Constitution. The ability to regulate commerce is not going to include what is your content. That's a First Amendment consideration. They can produce whatever kind of content they want. Warner can produce whatever kinds of content it wants. The ideological value of that is interesting. There's cultural questions about that. We certainly oppose diversity, equity, and inclusion, racial and gender hiring quotas. We're well on the record for that. I think that there's civil rights considerations, not just with media, but with all publicly traded companies right now. The president promised that he was going to clean that up in executive orders early in the 2025, particular to ending DEI, not just in the government, but also in the private sector. So I think that there's a very good case to do things like that, but there's a context for it. It's not a merger. That has to do with antitrust. That has to do with competition and benefiting consumers on a market basis. And the market will decide what kinds of content there are ultimately. If the American people didn't like there's a variety of choices. You don't have to watch every single show on Netflix.
You're right. And I think I agree with you, but I don't think we should dismiss the cultural argument entirely, right? If you only use the marketplace to decide to say what is important in terms of cultural preservation, then you're just placing a dollar value on things that may be part of your cultural heritage, which are truly priceless. So, for example, in England, they have the Elgin marbles, and these marbles are priceless treasures of antiquity, and they belong to the British people, and they've been taken from other countries. And if somebody wanted to say, hey, let's just have the market decide, and we should just sell these off. But I mean, aren't there certain cultural artifacts which you should attempt to protect and preserve from vandalism, or should everything just be sold off to the highest bidder?
That's an interesting question. I think an artifact would be something that's in a museum, and it's probably a nonprofit or it could be a government museum like the Smithsonian we have here in America. But we're talking about a publicly traded company with fiduciary responsibilities to its shareholders. It's a business, and you have to run it on a business basis, and you're going to comply with federal laws, including antitrust. I also mentioned civil rights. That's a separate question, though, when it comes to hiring and things like that. And in terms of what a company's political agenda is or what their preferences are ideologically are irrelevant to, I believe, a legal limited government consideration. What we're exerting government power. You're going to say that companies that are woke are going to not be allowed to have mergers and acquisitions. Well, but that's a lot. That's almost everything. If you want to do DEI, that's like what 80% of publicly traded companies are going to have something about DEI in their corporate charter.
Well, I mean, that's I want to agree with you. I think I do on an intellectual level, but I think it's probably important to say that. Yeah, I don't want the artifacts of Western civilization to fall into the hands of my enemies. I don't want Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and important works of literature and art to be destroyed by my ideological enemies. I don't want the communists to make Harry Potter black and gay. Yeah, I don't want that. I think, to just write it off and say, oh, the marketplace should buy it, I think it sort of undercuts the fact that, there are some things that are more important than profits. I say that as a capitalist libertarian, but I just think that it's important if you want to legitimize the market approach, not to undercut the cultural approach. Stephanie?
But isn't Warner Brothers voluntarily going into this partnership? They are willing to expose Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings to this wokeness,
not necessarily.
Right?
Well, remember, there are Missouri citizens. There are people here in Missouri who are invested in these companies.
Mm-hmm.
They have a fiduciary interest to their shareholders to get the best deal, to get the best value for the people who own them. Some people have retirement accounts that are tied up in these corporations. These are publicly traded companies. It's not like your and my privately held corporation. And we're talking about people who are trading stocks on this one. So doesn't the fact that people are invested in these companies, doesn't that mean that there's a little bit more responsibility, Robert, than there might be for a company that's not publicly traded?
Well, I think that when it comes to Paramount's competing bid, that certainly could come into play. Like, what's the best value for Warner shareholders? Are they making that best decision on that basis? Again, if it's antitrust consideration, it has to do with monopolization. It has to do with benefiting consumers. And I think on those counts, it's probably a fine merger. I mean, no worse than Disney Fox as far as that goes, which was far more horizontal in terms of being a merger of those studios. So I just think that, but when you have a government and you have a limited government, you have to apply limited powers. And the extent of, I just define, the antitrust, civil rights, things like that, that's the extent of the government's powers to intrude upon these private companies' decision to merge with one another. And if you don't see a violation under those laws, the government, the DOJ antitrust absolutely should not be considering if it's woke or not. As much as that's culturally interesting, and I agree with that. I think there's a lot of harmful, cultural content writ large in the arts and entertainment industry. I went to art school myself. I've been exposed to what it's like to be kind of a conservative in a liberal area. I've done, I did musical theater in high school. I remember all that. I know what that's like, but that is not a consideration for a limited government that's supposed to say, does this benefit consumers? Is there a market monopoly we need to be worried about? No. Okay, it's probably fine. Let the shareholders decide. Now, if Paramount wants to sue on their competing bid or something like that, that could be an issue for courts, but probably not for whether it's going to pass antitrust muster. So we want to separate, I think, just what is political, what is cultural, from what the Constitution and the law commands, which is that we're not going to intrude as the default position.
Well, here's the thing. So if there is a competing deal, if someone else wants to acquire Warner Brothers and they're offering more money, say, perhaps, than Netflix is offering, then doesn't the fact that it's a publicly traded company and they have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, doesn't it then come into play? Lost your audio there, Robert. You might have pressed.
I think it absolutely would come into play, but I think it's going to be in the context of probably more like a lawsuit or something like that. I don't think that's for the antitrust division or the Federal Trade Commission to really decide like who's got the best value there. That can be a separate. I think that's a separate process. But that can absolutely come into play. When Elon Musk acquired X, it was on that basis that this was a very good deal for Twitter, and they approved it and they went along with it. Okay. And the government didn't intrude, it didn't interfere, it didn't stop it. And I think that is this a good deal for Warner shareholders? I mean, in large part, that's for Warner to decide what they're going to do with their company, with their property. And we Americans for Limited Government, we believe in property rights. So unless there's a violation of law, our position would be that the merger should probably be approved. Okay. The fact that you have to go through this arduous process, I think, is probably good. I don't think you want to have corporations dominating like the energy industry I mentioned earlier, or something like, or just like a water company, like if somebody can control the water supply. I think there are legitimate monopoly concerns that Congress has a power to regulate. Certainly they've passed laws. It's been over a century. I'm pretty sure that we can settle on antitrust law probably being constitutional under the Commerce Clause. Interstate commerce. I mean, does Netflix go across state lines? Does Amazon? Does Disney? They all go across state lines. Mm-hmm. Well, Congress has the power to regulate it then, and certainly on an antitrust basis. So it's an appropriate process, an appropriate review, that if it does not turn up any violations, if the best arguments, Democrats were talking about, Netflix CEO met with Donald Trump, President Trump. Oh, is that inappropriate? And Warner's Bruce Campbell, he was saying, no, that's probably appropriate for a company who's doing a merger to say, hey, everything's going to be perfectly legal here. We're going to comply with federal laws, et cetera. So I think there is if that's what they have is, he met with Donald Trump and, it's woke. I don't think those are antitrust arguments. I don't think that would hold up in court. I don't think that's what the judge would consider in a federal case.
Okay. Is there anything else on this story, Robert, that you think we might have missed that you would like to share with our audience before we let you go?
Well, I think that Warner is an amazing company, and it's a legacy company. And you have Hollywood is really in a transition right now. Are we still going to see movies in movie theaters? Netflix didn't think so, because they set up the biggest streaming giant in the country. And they've even started producing their own content. They have their studios, but maybe they could be even better. Maybe Warner could be even better when these two companies are actually together. And that's a free market merger. They're willing parties, and we believe in property rights. So whether we agree with them or not, like on politics or culture and things like that, the market will sort that out too. But I do thank you all for your time, and I love the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Robert, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, sir, from getliberty.org. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Well, that was a great conversation. I'm playing a little devil's advocate there.
Yeah, he's so knowledgeable.
Yeah, it's good.
I think we're all just realizing that the world is changing around us, especially us in this, older generation, I guess you could say. We remember things as just so wonderful back when we were kids and young adults, and now things aren't that way anymore.
So Barney Style says, so AP doesn't want to see Brokeback Mordor? Yeah, no. Andy Opperman says, Robert is technically correct. The problem I see is that the limited government argument falls apart when the other side doesn't respect it. They abuse government power to push our culture into ruin. Yeah, and he donated $10 for that, Steffi.
Oh, good. But it's like Warner Brothers, they don't want to go bankrupt. They want to stay afloat.
Right.
They have to make these kinds of partnerships in order to continue.
Yes. Well, it's just that, again, I know I made this argument during the segment, but it's kind of like, do you want to see our cultural artifacts being held by people who hate us? Do you want to see them being owned? Like, I'm tired of watching woke films. The reason why I don't go to the movies anymore is because everything's fake and gay and has a woman in it.
Well, I mean, would you rather them merge with Disney? Disney's even more woke. Would you rather them merge with, whoever they merge with, they're all woke. No. You really can't find anything that's not woke anymore.
Angel Studios.
Yeah, but is that really going to financially be good for them? Angel
Maybe.
Studios is still rising. You know, they're a rising star. They probably need to make a merger with a Netflix in order to really launch their movies.
I just think it's important to consider the cultural questions, not just the market questions,
I know.
because I think that libertarians have lost in large part because we try to look at everything as if it's just markets.
Well, it is.
No, it's not, because there's some things are priceless, Stephanie. Like, are there things in this house that you would not sell for any price?
Well, yes.
Okay, so then it's priceless. So there's
right, but that's your opinion.
No, but that's right. But that's allowed, right? We're allowed to have our own opinions on things that are priceless. We're allowed to say there's no market for this. There's no market is allowed for.
But maybe there is. Look at all the billions of dollars going into these streaming platforms. There is interest in this.
How much would you sell your wedding ring for?
Oh, well, I wouldn't.
You would. You just said you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
but
you would.
maybe other people in the market would.
You said everything's a market. So how much is that wedding ring? How much it's for sale? How much would you sell it for? Anybody in the chat want to buy my wife's wedding ring?
I'm a private individual, and I can decide what I sell and what I don't. Warner Brothers is able to decide what they sell and what they don't.
You are a private individual, but Netflix and Warner Brothers are not private. Right. They are publicly traded companies.
I think what should happen, because I'm part of different public, shareholder things, like my liability insurance, for example. Like, I'm a shareholder of the liability company. We're allowed to vote on certain big decisions. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if shareholders could maybe vote on this decision. That would be fine.
They can, but if they don't even consider, if Netflix doesn't even consider other if Warner Brothers doesn't even consider other options to be bought by, then how are you even getting an opportunity to have a voice? Because if a lot of times those people are outvoted, they've got like majority shares, minority shares. Mm-hmm. So, there might be lawsuits, but we'll see.
But you know what? If you're unhappy with Warner Brothers, then get out, sell your share. Yeah. Unfortunately, you got to walk.
Yeah, no, but then you don't have any control. Then you allow the bad people to have all the power. Hold on.
We'll just go over to a company
Several women this week
that does things you like.
Changed the way they talk to me. Several women this week have changed the way they talk to me, the manner in which they respond to my messages, the niceness with which they send their replies. And I've looked into it, and all 4 of them fucked Elijah, including the 2 married ones.
Wait, who is this man?
That's Milo.
Oh, okay. I don't know what he looks like. Clearly, I don't follow all this drama too closely. Only the posts. I don't know the people's faces.
Over the past week, a nasty personal scandal inside conservative influencer circles has exploded into public view. So pulling in 3 high-profile online figures with leaked audio, deleted posts, accusations of hypocrisy. What began as a messy divorce and a series of emotional online posts quickly turned into claims of a months-long affair, alleged secret recordings, and a public feud fueled by Milo Yiannopoulos. He says he's exposing behavior he considers dishonest and predatory inside the movement. Mainstream outlets have rushed in, framing this as a trad right meltdown. Critics on the right argue the real story is how influencer culture rewards drama, moral grandstanding, and personal branding over character. So this is not just gossip, because it raises uncomfortable questions about credibility of the people we listen to online, accountability, and whether political movements are increasingly being shaped by online celebrities who live very different private lives than what they sell publicly.
Wait a second.
Let's walk through what's actually been reported, what remains disputed, and why this story is resonating far beyond just one messy breakup. Stephanie?
Look at all of our presidents. They have, tittle and tattle, JFK.
No, that was fiddle and faddle.
Fiddle and faddle.
Yeah.
Trump, he's been with so many women under the sun.
Yeah, but they don't pretend. But they're not pretending that they're anything different in public than they are privately. I guess JFK might have, but anyways, we'll have to talk about that with Justin.
What someone does in the bedroom, does that really matter about their professional life? That's what I'm saying.
If they're LARPing as a traditional conservative Republican Christian and they are wearing crosses out in public, yeah, I do think that matters. But we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to hear what Justin Peterson thinks about that, because we're gonna go to a commercial break, and when we get back, Justin Peterson will be here. But those who are not on Rumble will not be here. If you don't have the little castle next to your name, then we'll see you on Monday, or Yeah, we'll see you on Monday. So we'll be right back. It's the Wake Up America show. We're going members only. Behind the paywall. See you guys on Monday. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network.
Imagine bringing George Washington back to life. Just to explain that in 2025, men can get pregnant, waving an American flag might offend someone, and our government is $34 trillion in debt. But that's not all, George. We have drag queen story hour for toddlers. Pronouns are mandatory. And Harvard can't define woman. Oh. And we send billions to Ukraine but can't fix potholes in Ohio. You know, just normal modern empire stuff. I'm sure he'd be totally cool with it.